Along the sacred banks of the Ganges, where light and shadow intertwine, a poignant and gripping tale unfolds. In the humble village of Vrindavan, Anaya, a skilled lamp maker with deft hands and an unyielding spirit, crafts lamps that carry the glow of hope and tradition. Yeah, when a painful secret from her past resurfaces, Anaya and her son, Karan, a gifted Kathak dancer, face a pivotal challenge on the dazzling stage of Mumbai. What choice awaits them? Glory or truth? Step into this captivating journey, where every flame tells a story, and courage determines which light will shine brightest. Along the sacred banks of the Ganges, where silver waves shimmer under the morning sun, lies a small village called Vrindavan. Nestled among red dirt alleys and thatched roof homes, lived a woman named Anaya. She was a traditional lamp maker, a craft passed down through generations in her family. Anaya's lamps were not mere objects. They were works of art, each intricate carving, each smooth layer of glazed clay told a story of perseverance and love for her craft. Anaya, with her long, glossy black hair and eyes that burned like flames, worked in her modest home. The house held little a weathered wooden table, a few rudimentary tools, and a small kiln in the courtyard corner. Yet from her hands emerged lamps that brought warm light to every household in the village. Each lamp whispered tales of tradition, memory, and dreams that refused to be extinguished. At 25, Anaya was pregnant with her first child. Her husband, Rajan, was an ambitious man. Working in the handicraft export trade, he spoke often of grand dreams, taking Indian traditional art to the world, building a prosperous life for their family. As Anaya's pregnancy progressed, Rajan abruptly announced he was leaving the village for Mumbai to seize a life-changing opportunity. He embraced her, promising a swift return with a brighter future. Though anxious, Anaya trusted his words. She bid him farewell in the crimson glow of a Ganges sunset, her hand resting on her belly, feeling the heartbeat of their unborn child. But Rajan never returned. His letters dwindled, then stopped altogether. Anaya gave birth alone in her small home, amidst pain and solitude. The child, a boy, she named Karan, light, in Sanskrit. From that moment, Anaya ceased waiting for Rajan. She harbored no resentment, no complaints. She quietly carried on, crafting lamps, raising her son, and kindling a flame of hope in her heart. Each night, by the flickering glow of an oil lamp, Anaya told Karan Indian folktales of Krishna and Radha, mighty gods, and resilient women who overcame every trial. Karan grew up in his mother's embrace, under the light of her lamps, and within stories steeped in courage. From a young age, he was captivated by Kathak, a classical Indian dance form with swirling footwork, graceful hand movements, and the jingle of tiny bells with each step. Watching dancers perform at village festivals, Karan stood mesmerized, his small feet unconsciously moving to the rhythm. Anaya saw her son's passion. Despite their poverty, she resolved to let Karan pursue dance. She worked tirelessly, firing more lamps, selling more wares, and saving every rupee to pay for lessons with a teacher in a nearby town. Some nights, as Karan slept, Anaya sat by the kiln, her hands caked with clay, her eyes weary but ever radiant. She knew her light shone not only in her lamps but in her son's dreams. Karan honored her sacrifice. He danced with devotion, each step a tribute to Anaya. Though their life was meager, mother and son overflowed with love. Karan often said, "Mother, you are my lamp. No matter how vast the darkness, you always shine." When Karan was 16, a great opportunity arose. He was chosen to perform Kathak at a national arts festival in Mumbai, an event showcasing young talent from across India. Vrindavan erupted in pride. Neighbors who had bought Anaya's lamps pooled money to send mother and son to the city. With a radiant smile, Anaya packed a few clothes and a small oil lamp to carry the village's light with you, she said. Mumbai, with its skyscrapers and bustling crowds, was an alien world to Anaya and Karan. As their bus wound through streets aglow with neon, Anaya held her son's hand, her heart brimming with hope. But that joy shattered when they paused before a massive billboard on a towering building. It read, "Rajlux, Indian traditional art to the world." At its center was an oil lamp, a design Anaya could never mistake. It was her creation from years ago, adorned with lotus motifs and delicate carvings she had once taught Rajan to make. Below the lamp stood a man in a suit, holding the lamp aloft with a proud smile. The text read, "Rajan Malhotra, founder, CEO of Rajlux." Anaya froze. Her hands trembled, her cloth bag slipping to the ground. Karan, confused, asked, "Mother, what's wrong?" But Anaya shook her head. Her eyes clouded with memories. The man on the billboard was Rajan, her husband, Karan's father, who had abandoned them 16 years ago. Now a wealthy entrepreneur, he had built an empire from her lamps, her memories, her hands. Anaya felt her heart constrict, but she hid her pain from Karan. She smiled and said, "It's nothing, my son. We're here for your dream. Let nothing stand in your way." The day before the performance, Anaya and Karan stayed at a modest Mumbai guest house. Unable to sleep, Karan rummaged through his mother's bag for a water bottle. Inside, he found an old wooden box, carved with patterns like her lamps. Curiosity piqued, he opened it and discovered a faded photograph, a young Anaya beside a man Rajan, identical to the billboard figure. Tucked behind was a handwritten note. "Anaya, I will return, Rajan." Karan was stunned. Pieces fell into place. The man on the billboard, his mother's lamp design, the father she never spoke of. Rajan was his father, the man who abandoned them, who stole his mother's work to build his fame. Karan clutched the photo, his heart a storm of anger and resolve. He wanted to confront Anaya, but seeing her asleep, her calloused hands resting, he couldn't bear to wake her. Karan chose silence, but a fire of determination burned within him. The arts festival unfolded in a grand Mumbai theater. Karan, in traditional Kathak attire, took the stage with all his passion. His steps were light, yet powerful, his spins drawing the audience's soul. The bells on his ankles blended with the tabla's rhythm, weaving an emotional symphony. Anaya, in the audience, watched with glistening eyes. To her, Karan was not just a dancer, but the flame she had nurtured through her darkest days. Karan's performance earned thunderous applause. He won the highest honor, Rising Star of Kathak. When the chief sponsor was called to present the award, Anaya's heart stopped. The man ascending the stage, in a tailored suit, was Rajan. Rajan, with a confident smile, shook Karan's hand and handed him the golden trophy. But as his gaze caught Anaya in the crowd, his smile vanished. Anaya was changed, her hair streaked with silver, her face etched by years of hardship, but her eyes remained sharp, unyielding. Rajan's hand trembled as he passed the microphone to Karan. He recognized her, the woman he had left behind, and the son he had never known. The MC, unaware, cheerfully announced, "And here is Karan's mother, Anaya, a lamp maker from a small village by the Ganges." The audience applauded warmly. Anaya rose, bowing in gratitude, her eyes fixed on Rajan. It was not a look of hatred, but of one who had transcended pain, standing firm against any storm. Rajan struggled to maintain composure. He forced a strained smile, brushing past Anaya as if she were a stranger. But inside, a tempest raged. Invited to speak, Karan stepped to the podium, the trophy gleaming in his hand. He looked at the audience, his mother, then Rajan, who stood at the stage's edge, feigning calm. Karan took a deep breath, his voice clear and resolute. "I thank everyone for supporting me today, but I must decline this award. I cannot accept glory built on deceit." The hall fell silent. All eyes turned to Karan. Rajan stiffened, his smile evaporating. Anaya's heart pounded, but she did not stop her son. She knew this was his moment. Karan continued, his voice trembling with emotion but unwavering. "The man, their CEO of Rajluxus, my father. He abandoned my mother and me before I could speak." He took her memories, the lamp designs she poured her sweat and tears into, and claimed fame for himself. "I stand here today not because of him, but because of a woman who never let the lamp in her heart go out. That woman is my mother, Anaya." The hall was still for a moment, as if the world held its breath. Then, like a wave, the audience rose, applauding ceaselessly. The ovation was not just for Karan, but for Anaya, the woman who had silently sacrificed, illuminating not only lamps but her son's life. Rajan stood alone under the stage lights, head bowed, unable to meet anyone's gaze. In that moment, the empire he had built seemed to crumble not from Karan's words, but from the truth he had buried for 16 years. The incident at the festival spread rapidly across social media. Articles, videos, and ex-posts recounted Karan and Anaya's story, transforming them into symbols of resilience and integrity. Rajlux, once celebrated, faced a fierce boycott. Customers turned away, partners withdrew, and Rajan became the focus of criticism for stealing ideas and abandoning his family. A week later, Rajan sought out the modest guest house where Anaya and Karan stayed before returning to their village. He stood at the door, his tailored suit now out of place. He begged to meet them, to apologize. Karan, with a cold expression, refused to see him. But Anaya agreed. She faced Rajan, calm yet resolute. Anaya, I'm sorry, Rajan said, his voice breaking. I was wrong. Greed blinded me. I only want to make amends. Anaya met his gaze, her eyes unwavering. I don't need your apology, she said. I need you to remember light comes not from the lamp, but from the one who lights it. You may have built an empire, but if your heart is dark, that light means nothing. Rajan bowed his head, speechless. He left, carrying a remorse that would likely haunt him forever. Karan pursued his art, becoming a renowned Kathak dancer, celebrated not only for his talent but for his inspiring story. Anaya, with donations from supporters across India, opened a free vocational center for impoverished women in Vrindavan. There, she taught the art of lamp making, alongside lessons in dignity and resilience. Hundreds of new lamps were lit daily, each a story, a dream, an unquenchable flame. Anaya and Karan's story is a testament to the power of the heart. Some build empires through deceit, but only those who preserve their humanity truly illuminate the world. Anaya, with her clay-stained hands and blazing heart, proved that true light lies not in lamps but in the love, courage, and perseverance of those who kindle them.